I'm Evan Wass, and this is How to Tandem. This is aimed at those of you who are either in a slow car or a really nice car that you don't want to smash up in the learning process. I'm going to cover all the basics of tandem for those of you who have only done solo runs but actually want to start having fun at drift events. Before you start tandeming, you should be very comfortable with drifting the track without spinning. If you don't have the power to link the whole track, that's fine, but spinning is going to cause some problems. If you're new to drifting, check out these videos to help you get the basics down. Once you have the basics down, your car needs to be safe. Check with your local rulebooks, but a good 6-point roll cage with door bars, a bucket seat, a functional handbrake, and maybe a fire extinguisher are pretty much the essentials. The car I'm using in this video is my slightly overbuilt A86. It's a Texas street legal car with a stock K24 swap. It's a really good example of how you don't need tons of power or angle to have loads of fun, and how you can chase V8 cars with just a little bit of technique. For your first few chase runs with someone, it's really important to give plenty of space for mistakes. Give them a few car lengths off the start. Some people just get nervous when there's a car on track with them for the first time. Don't try to get into your buddy's door right away either. You're not in D1 just yet, so you don't need to trash your car and look like an idiot. Just focus on driving the exact same line the lead driver is on. If he misses an outer zone, make sure you miss it too. If he's way off a front clip, be way off it too. To do this right, you need to stop driving predictably, meaning don't drive your lead line and start driving off of reaction. To a certain degree, ignore the clipping points and treat the lead cars as the only clipping point on track. Don't completely zone out though. If he's heading into a wall, you should probably pick a better line. I like to watch the lead car right behind the front wheel. Since you tend to drive where you're looking, this will bring you right into the correct position for chase driving. You can also see what kind of steering input he's giving the car and just how much angle he has, so you can react to his car a little bit quicker. This way you can be one step ahead of a spin. The easiest way not to smash into the lead car is to spin with them. It should leave you plenty of room, especially if they try to put the car in reverse to get out of your way. If you see the lead car spinning faster than you can, just slow down and go drive as far away as you can. It's all logical stuff, but really important to remember. Once you are both getting comfortable and very familiar with each other's lines, you can start getting closer. So let's talk about proximity. A really helpful trick is to imagine another car stuck to the door of the lead car, meaning give at least one car length between you and the lead car. So if you're closer than a car length, you're out of control and need to back off, but if you're further than 3 car lengths, you need to drive harder to make it cool. This is part of the judging criteria for the Texas Street Legal Drifting series. It places a lot of emphasis on precision and keeps collisions to a minimum, since most of the cars in Texas Street Legal are nice or daily driven. This is how I drive at all events to keep my daily from turning into a beer can. Plus, the technique gives you a good margin for error if the lead car spins. You'll have enough time to react by spinning with them or going around them. This is where knowing where the clipping points and learning the perfect lead line will start to help you stay close. If you drive the same line as the lead driver, you should keep the same proximity through the whole course. However, if the lead car is faster than you, or if you make a mistake, then you need to modify the line and your angle to regain that proximity. If you're just doing fun runs, the lead car will usually run a wide line with as much angle as possible to make it easier to follow. Running an inside line is typically the easiest way to catch a lead car. All that means is getting tighter on the front clips and don't drive all the way out to the rear zones. If you're 10 car lengths behind the lead car and cut way too far on the inside, you're going to catch up quickly. Probably too quickly and overshoot the next turn. Then you're another 10 car lengths back and have to catch up again. This is the most common and ugly mistake new chase drivers make. To fight this, don't shallow your line more than 1 car length for every 4 car lengths you're behind. If you still can't get close enough, you'll have to shallow up your angle. The combination of the two is going to get you back into the fun zone. Don't be afraid to straighten out in order to gain proximity at first. Sometimes it's just better to reset your car than to keep fumbling over your mistakes and look like an idiot. If you don't have a lot of power and need to keep up with a faster lead car, you can keep your proximity by using transitions to your advantage. This is how I have to drive with pretty much any car because my Corolla is really slow. Quick snappy transitions are really cool these days, and if you're in competition, they're typically part of the judging criteria. Most lead cars will do really big, cool, snappy transitions. The only downside of those is they slow you down a ton. So when you're in the chase, try making your transitions earlier than the lead driver and making your transitions longer. This gives you more driving straight time, so your tires have more time to grip up and it'll speed you up. Sometimes you'll get in way too quickly and you'll need to slow down again so you don't smash into the lead driver, but that's a lot easier than trying to catch up in the turn. Be careful not to drive straight for too long, especially if the lead driver makes a mistake. You can just smash into their door and ruin your weekend. As you're trying to get closer to the lead car, the more important it is for you to look through the lead driver, especially if they're not very consistent in their line. This means not to focus entirely on the lead car like I suggested earlier, but also the clips, walls, and other danger zones. All this means is that if you see the lead car about to put their car somewhere it shouldn't be, you can be a step ahead of them when they straighten out, slow down, or spin out to avoid hitting that wall or cone or whatever. It's all pretty situational, but usually slowing down or taking a different line should keep you from colliding. If you're in a multi-car train, you need to watch every car in front of you as well, which is why it's best to learn chase driving with just one other driver. As you chase more, you'll pick up on the little mistakes of lead drivers. The most common are deceleration bobbles, which is when the lead car has to adjust their line or speed, and the car seems to twitch as they add angle or try to maintain it while slowing down. When you're still getting the hang of tandeming, a slowing lead car is the most dangerous part of the equation. This is when most collisions happen, but it's also where your cars can get super close. There are 3 basic ways to avoid hitting the lead car that still allow you to keep your proximity. The first method, and most intuitive, is to just grab a handful of e-brake. This will slow you down, push the car towards the outside, and can easily add angle. This makes it helpful right after you shallow up or run an inside line to gain proximity on the lead car. The handbrake often gets misused though. I notice a lot when I'm leading since my car is really slow. Some of the faster chase drivers have to go from on throttle to handbrake constantly, and it makes the car chase bobble a ton and look really stupid. This is a pretty bad habit since it makes your car really twitchy and causes a lunging motion that could cause you to run over the lead car if they slow down at the wrong time. The solution, and second method of slowing down, is left foot braking. If you're not familiar with the term, it's simply using your left foot to brake while you're still on the gas with your right foot. It's basically a rolling burnout. This way you're still spinning the rear tires, keeping you in drift, but it's also slowing your front tires, which slows the whole car down. This will also bring more weight transfer and grip to the front tires, making it easier for you to nose in at a clipping point. It can also help add angle. This really helps when you're in a tight turn, especially if you need to accelerate afterwards. The last method is really only for small mistakes or turns where you should be accelerating anyway. A simple clutch kick to add angle or a small feint motion while in drift can add angle, especially if you're about to understeer. A clutch kick will help you gain proximity before you slow down with the angle of the car. A small feint maneuver will slow you down slightly. Though it doesn't scrub a lot of speed like the handbrake or left foot braking, combining the two will get you to big angle quickly without sacrificing any proximity. This is more of an advanced technique for when you need to adjust to the lead car's line, but they're already accelerating. Unless you're driving competitively or in a really slow car, you might want to ignore this one for a while. All of these techniques are corrections, and when done in the lead position can make you really hard to chase. So just remember, when you're out front, try to drive smooth and wide to make the chase driver's life easier. If you happen to look back and see them a mile away, slow down so they can catch up. It's all for fun anyway, so you might as well help your buddies enjoy tandem driving too. When you finally get all these tandem basics and you're ready to get into competitions, go watch Aaron Losey's How To Tandem video. He runs the Lone Star Drift, Formula D Pro-Am, and Texas Street Legal, so he knows what he's talking about. This video covers all the high-powered bumper car techniques and revisits a few points I made here. Links to Aaron's video and the others I mentioned earlier are in the description below. Study them all, be smart, and go have fun. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment. It's the internet, so I'm sure someone will give you an answer worth hearing.